My friends, every once in a generation, a nation does something so bold, so daring, that it forces the entire world to stop and take notice. It shakes our assumptions, it challenges our pride, and it reminds us that courage does not belong to the few. It belongs to anyone willing to rise above fear and take the risk of leading when others hesitate. What happened was not just about technology, policy, or power. It was about conviction. It was about the determination to believe in possibility, even when the world said it could not be done. And when that determination became action, it sent a signal across oceans and continents that courage is contagious, that strength is not inherited, it is earned. You see, history has never been written by those who played it safe. It has always been written by those who were willing to take the first step into uncertainty, who dared to climb higher, push further, and dream bigger than anyone before them. That is what progress demands. It demands vision, but more than that, it demands the will to act on that vision, even when success is not guaranteed. And this moment serves as a reminder to all of us. Greatness does not come from waiting for permission. It comes from taking responsibility for your future, from choosing to rise when others retreat, from deciding that you will no longer measure your worth by what others expect of you, but by the standard you set for yourself. So the question before you now is simple. Boldness has always been the driving force behind every leap humanity has ever taken. It is the quality that separates those who sit on the sidelines from those who write the chapters of history. Boldness does not ask for permission. It does not wait for the right conditions. It does not hesitate when the world is filled with doubt. It steps forward when everything around says to hold back. It rises when fear tries to keep us grounded. And in that act of stepping forward, it reshapes what we thought was possible. For too long, progress has been limited by hesitation, by leaders and individuals waiting until they felt ready, waiting until they were certain, waiting until someone else took the first step. But the truth is, no one is ever fully ready. No one has absolute certainty. Those who wait for perfect conditions never move, and those who never move never make an impact. Boldness is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to move forward in spite of it. Every breakthrough we admire today, every achievement that we point to as an example of greatness began with a bold decision. It began with someone who looked at the impossible and said, why not? It began with a leader, a dreamer, a fighter, who refused to let caution hold them back from action. And once that decision was made, the world around them began to shift. What was once called foolish became visionary. What was once called impossible became undeniable. This is the power of boldness. It changes not only the individual who acts, but the mindset of everyone watching. When boldness is displayed, it inspires others to test their own limits. It creates a ripple effect that travels far beyond the original action. People who may never have considered taking risks suddenly find themselves asking if they too could rise higher. Nations that once played it safe find themselves daring to compete, daring to dream, daring to claim their place on the world stage. Boldness redefines the boundaries of possibility, because it proves that the limits we thought were fixed were never limits at all. They were only fears disguised as facts. And once boldness breaks through, nothing looks the same again. Action is the one force that silences doubt. People can question your dreams. They can laugh at your ambitions. They can criticize your every move. But once you take that decisive step forward, the noise begins to fade. Action has a way of cutting through assumptions, because assumptions live at all only in the space of inaction. As long as you stand still, people will continue to speculate, to predict, to judge what you might or might not achieve. But the moment you move, the conversation changes. Suddenly, the focus is no longer on whether you can, but on the fact that you did. Throughout history, every person or nation that shocked the world did so not by talking about potential, but by acting upon it. Potential without action is wasted energy. But action transforms potential into new proof. It demonstrates what words alone never can. And when results begin to appear, they speak in a language so undeniable that even critics are forced to pay attention. That is why action is more powerful than opinion. Opinions can be debated endlessly, but results have a way of ending arguments. No one can deny what has already been accomplished, no matter how loudly they once doubted it. The truth is, many people live their entire lives trapped by assumptions. Assumptions of what society says is possible. Assumptions of what their background allows them to achieve. Assumptions of what they think they are capable of. And yet, those assumptions are broken the moment a single individual chooses to act against them. One bold step, one decisive move, one refusal to remain still can unravel years of doubt and disbelief. Action doesn't just change the course of one person's journey. It shifts the expectations of everyone watching. The reason action carries so much weight is because it brings clarity. It moves an idea from the world of theory into the realm of reality. And reality is undeniable. You can ignore words, you can dismiss dreams, you can even overlook effort, but you cannot deny results. That is why the greatest change makers, the ones who leave their mark on the world, are not always the ones who talk the most or dream the biggest. They are the ones who do something when it matters most. They understand that while assumptions may linger in the air, action is the storm that clears them away. Greatness is never handed to anyone on a silver platter. It is earned through relentless effort, unwavering focus, and an unshakable belief in the possibility of something greater. From the moment a challenge appears, greatness demands that we rise to meet it not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with determination and courage. Those who achieve the extraordinary understand that every small step, every sacrifice, every late night and early morning contributes to the foundation of something far bigger than themselves. It is not enough to dream about greatness. One must be willing to put in the work, to endure the struggles, and to persevere when success seems distant. Every individual, every nation that has ever accomplished something remarkable has done so by refusing to accept mediocrity as their standard. They understand that the world does not reward intention alone, nor does it remember those who wished for change without taking action. Greatness is measured by effort, by resilience, and by the courage to continue moving forward even when the path is uncertain. It is built on the accumulation of choices, decisions, and actions that demonstrate a commitment to achieving something meaningful. No one becomes great by standing still or waiting for approval. Greatness comes to those who step forward when others hesitate, who take responsibility for their vision, and who pursue it with relentless focus. History is full of examples where individuals and nations rose above their circumstances, not because they were the luckiest or the most powerful, but because they were willing to act when others did not. They faced obstacles, criticism, and setbacks, yet they pressed on, motivated by a vision of what could be rather than what was. That vision became their compass, guiding them through moments of uncertainty, pushing them past fear and inspiring those around them to believe in the possibility of change. Greatness demands more than talent or knowledge. It demands endurance, sacrifice, and the refusal to be satisfied with anything less than one's full potential. It challenges us to push beyond our limits, to question what we thought was possible, and to pursue a standard higher than what the world may expect. And in that pursuit, the ordinary is transformed into the extraordinary, the hesitant into the decisive, and the possible into the undeniable. Fear is the shadow that looms over every decision, whispering doubts and questioning every step forward. It is the natural response to uncertainty, the instinct that tells us to stay safe, to remain within the familiar, and to avoid the discomfort of the unknown. Yet the difference between those who lead and those who follow is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to confront it head on. Courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to act despite it. It is the bridge that carries us from hesitation to achievement, from doubt to impact, from potential to accomplishment. Every breakthrough in history, every innovation, every shift in society has come because someone dared to face fear instead of retreating from it. When fear arises, it tests our resolve, asking whether we are truly committed to our vision or merely content with the illusion of safety. Those who step forward in spite of fear demonstrate that action is stronger than anxiety, and determination is more powerful than doubt. They understand that fear is temporary, but the results of courage can endure for generations. The power of courage lies not just in its ability to move the individual, but in its capacity to inspire others. When people see someone willing to act despite uncertainty, they are reminded of their own potential. Fear loses its grip when it is met with boldness, and obstacles shrink in the face of resolve. Courage creates momentum, and momentum transforms ambition into reality. Each small act of bravery reinforces the possibility of larger victories, building confidence and igniting the belief that challenges exist not to stop us, but to prove our strength. To face fear is to take control of one's destiny. It is to refuse to allow hesitation or doubt to dictate the course of action. It is to recognize that while fear may always be present, it does not have to be the force that defines us. Leaders, innovators, and change makers do not eliminate fear. They acknowledge it, respect it, and move forward anyway, using it as a measure of the significance of the step they are taking. In doing so, they teach the world that the unknown is not to be feared, but to be mastered through courage, conviction, and relentless action. Risk is the companion of every meaningful achievement, the constant presence behind every act of progress that reshapes the world. History has shown that those who change the course of nations, redefine industries, or inspire generations are not the ones who played it safe. They are the ones who took risks when caution whispered, "Stay put." Risk is uncomfortable. It demands that we leave the familiar behind, step into uncertainty, and challenge the limitations others have placed before us. It asks us to put our reputation, our comfort, and sometimes even our security on the line in pursuit of something greater than ourselves. The power of risk lies not in the possibility of failure, but in the opportunity for transformation. Every risk carries with it the potential to expand what we believe is possible, to test the limits of our capabilities, and to awaken a determination that comfort could never ignite. Those who embrace risk understand that hesitation and overcaution may protect them from immediate harm, but they also prevent growth, innovation, and impact. It is the willingness to act in the face of uncertainty that separates those who leave their mark from those who fade into obscurity. Risk is also contagious. When one individual steps forward boldly, others are inspired to follow. The act of daring creates momentum that cannot be contained. It reshapes expectations, shifts perspectives, and challenges the assumptions that have long held people back. Every movement, every breakthrough, and every great accomplishment began with someone who decided that the reward of acting outweighed the fear. Risk transforms potential energy into kinetic energy, turning dreams into action and ideas into tangible results. Furthermore, risk teaches lessons that success never could. Failure, setbacks, and challenges are not signs of defeat. They are the training ground for resilience, innovation, and growth. Each time a person or a nation takes a risk, they learn something new about themselves, about their capabilities, and about the possibilities that exist beyond the comfort zone. The most significant leaps forward are never guaranteed, but those who refuse to take risks guarantee stagnation. To embrace risk is to embrace the responsibility of shaping one's destiny, to confront the unknown with courage, and to recognize that progress is built by those who dare to step into the arena when others choose to remain on the sidelines. The future does not belong to those who wait for permission, nor does it favor those who cling to comfort while the world moves around them. It belongs to the daring, to the individuals and nations who refuse to be defined by hesitation, who step into the arena even when the outcome is uncertain. Every major advancement, every leap forward has been achieved by those who were willing to act boldly when others were content to observe. The daring do not ask if it is safe. They ask if it is necessary, if it is right, if it is a step towards something greater than themselves. Courageous action is the engine of progress. It transforms ideas into reality and potential into achievement. The daring understand that the path of least resistance leads to stagnation and that comfort is a trap disguised as security. They recognize that every opportunity to act is fleeting and that the cost of inaction is far greater than the risk of failure. To be daring is to acknowledge fear, to feel the weight of uncertainty, and yet to choose to move forward anyway. It is this willingness to embrace challenge that sets apart the leaders, the innovators, and the change makers from those who simply watch the world pass by. Daring individuals inspire others by the very act of their courage. When one person steps forward into the unknown, it creates a ripple effect that encourages others to challenge their own limitations. What seems impossible becomes attainable, and what was once a distant dream becomes a shared vision. The world notices, imitates, and eventually adapts to those who refuse to stay silent in the face of doubt. Bold action sends a message louder than any speech or promise. That progress belongs to those willing to claim it. To be daring is to take ownership of your influence and your responsibility. It is to understand that history favors the proactive over the passive, the builders over the bystanders, the bold over the cautious. Every significant accomplishment begins with the choice to act, the choice to confront uncertainty, and the choice to step forward when others hesitate. It is a mindset that transforms ordinary moments into opportunities, challenges into triumphs, and ambition into tangible change. Those who embrace daring do not merely participate in the future. They shape it with intention, courage, and relentless action.